Welcome to the Shadow Archives, a fan-led show dedicated to Sara Samuel's world of the Blade of Shadows. In last week's episodes, things got kind of steamy, and then they got super sad in Scotland. As we watched Olivia and Roman's relationship blossom just before we had to say bye-bye to Amara. And in today's episode, Olivia and Roman return to Rome and end up fighting for their lives as we conclude Timeborne with chapters 32 through 37. And to help me go through this roller coaster of a finale, please allow me to introduce all of your hosts from around the world. Sadly, the first one's not here because # work responsibilities, but Tam from Australia is here in spirit. And we have Louise from Denmark, Sam from England, Patrick from North Carolina, and Lisa from Northern Virginia. And as always, I'm Matt from Ohio. And with that, the archives are officially reopened. We open our story today with chapter 32, Aboard a Ship Back to Rome, where, if you remember last episode, I would be a hoe. But Sam from England is here to tell us what went down to all of the non-hoes.
So, this chapter, I feel, is basically a giant red flag that is a warning sign that everything is about to go horribly, horribly wrong. Olivia endures a miserable voyage back to Rome, being seasick, grieving Amara, and trapped amongst the ship's less than comforting companions. Roman finally sneaks away to see her, away from the Emperor's side, and their reunion is sweet but quickly turns serious when Olivia reveals that Marsalius had been spying on them. Roman becomes convinced that Marsalius and the Empress Severus are plotting something dangerous and entrusts Olivia with a mysterious glowing dagger for keepsakes. The chapter builds tension, like the storm at sea, secret schemes, suspicious alliances, and ominous warnings pile up until the ship finally reaches Rome. And just when Olivia thinks that she's about to be reunited with Roman on solid ground, disaster strikes. Roman is arrested for treason and accused of being a spy alongside Olivia. Marsalius reveals his betrayal, manipulates the Emperor, and claims Olivia as his own prize. The chapter now ends with Olivia literally knocked to the ground whilst Roman is dragged away in chains, with a cliffhanger that is designed to make readers immediately turn a page and mutter, "Oh, come on!" I really enjoyed this chapter. I thought I was thoroughly invested. I do think it's quite funny how Olivia waited to tell Roman about Marsalius being like spying on them. Like I would have told him a lot sooner.
The first opportunity.
Being like, your mate's superb. Yeah, I thought.
So
I was going to say, I thought this one was probably one of my favorites out of this section of the book. Mainly because there was a lot of, I feel, emotion because of, obviously, they've just lost Amara, and then it's like, okay, come on. Like, now you gotta get on a ship and then just deal with the situation. And because neither one of them can be in the same quarters as each other, like, there's no comfort. So you just kind of wallow in.
I agree. One of the things I did was I kind of went back and read the 3 or 4 pages of the trip to Scotland. And then I read the 1.5 pages or whatever of the trip back to Rome. And there is a very stark contrast. It is so noticeable that Amara is not there. Like, I don't think Olivia would have survived that trip to Scotland without Amara.
100.
And also because they spent, what was it, like a year in Scotland with the whole, like, they've had that year to build a relationship and a friendship and all of that, and then to have it completely, like, wiped away, and then it's like, right, now you've got to go back home. I feel like like you said, she probably wouldn't have made it there without Amara, but because she's known Amara, I think she was very strong in making it back.
I think it's a very subtle, like, character growth moment that I never noticed the first 2 times I read.
I didn't either. I thought it was like, oh, they're just going home, but there was definitely progression from the first time I read it to now.
Yeah, she carries Amara's strength with her now. She was strong before, but now stronger.
When they get off the ship, I want to know your guys' take on this. Was there a crowd? Did you guys read any hint of, like, a crowd of people witnessing their return?
No. That's unclear. No, I don't. Do you? Was there?
As far as, I don't think she really kind of went into, like, building the scene, but any boat coming in during that time, there would have been, it's not like the docks today where everything's run by machines. You would have had a lot of activity. And just going through history itself, there's a lot of activity that just happens at the dock. Because you have to get whatever it is offloaded. You have to, that I just think in my mind, I just was automatically there. That is the picture that I have in my head is of Pearl Harbor, not Pearl Harbor, Titanic, when they're trying to get on the boat, and they're just like, there's just people going anywhere and everywhere, and yelling and screaming and stuff like that. That's just kind of what I pictured in my head when they got home.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Not Pearl Harbor, but
I know it.
That's a really good observation. The reason I ask is because here in a couple of chapters, we learn that Anthony was there watching this, allegedly.
Oh yeah.
And it's just sort of like, nobody, like, even, okay, if we even go back to the 1910s, the 1920s, you had, like, ship schedules, and there were ways to distribute that information to the people. And, like, so, like, when ships would come in and they would leave, everybody would know roughly when to expect them. And now we live in a digital world where you can track a boat, like you can track a flight, that kind of a thing. But I'm just thinking, like, back in 207 AD, how would anybody know when to expect a boat? Especially because Emperor Severus just seems to want to go home on a whim.
Well, maybe they see the boat, like maybe some people hang out there and see a boat in the distance and start yelling like, "A boat's coming in," and then it just passes through. And everybody then eventually kind of hears about it. Like Patrick said, I think it's like an event when a boat comes in. I think that's true.
There's a TV show that I was watching, I think we spoke about it before, called The Way Home, and it's set. It's set. There's parts of it set in the 1800s and stuff, but they send between the ships. They send manifests of, like, the schedule for the next, like, 10, 15 ships or whatever, and, like, people are not pre-booked on it, but, like, there's sort of a list of who's either due to get on that ship or stuff. So I wonder if they would have had something like that.
That's a good point.
Then, like you said, it's on a bit of a whim for them to go home. So, would they have necessarily understood who they are?
Well, and I'm pretty sure that his boat would have been one of the rather aircraft-esque of the day. I mean, he's got an entire tent set up for his frolicking
exactly.
on the deck. You know, where Matt and I can be
I think there's a
where Matt and I can be man whores in the sun.
Patrick, I absolutely love how like this novel is so, I don't want to say it's graphic because but it's so explicit, and Patrick's over here PGing the heck out of it, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
They're frolicking in the woods like fairies. I swear to everything good, I'm going to try my hardest to not let us devolve so hard today.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm trying to PG it.
Yeah. Frolicking. All right. I think this is where we see the Emperor, his favoritism for Marsilius really coming to a head. And
or manipulation.
It still just baffles me. Every time I read this book, it baffles me. And all I can think is like, stupid people just flock to stupid people. Power hungry people flock to power hungry people. And but it baffles me because clearly Roman is just the better. He's better at everything. It's so obvious. He's better at everything. And like, if I was in charge, and I have been in charge before, I'm going to pick the person that's better. That's what I've always done. And it just baffles me.
Not if you're a deviant. If you're a deviant, you want other deviants around you.
I am a deviant. At least I was. I was cool once upon a time.
My consensus on this is that I don't think Marsilius is the favorite. I don't personally believe he's a favorite. I think he's very clever in manipulation. I don't think he's the favorite.
Right.
Bingo.
I think he finds ways to manipulate to get what he wants, but I don't think it's through favoritism. I think if he was truly the favorite, like, he wouldn't necessarily be thrown down so much or have to feel like he's got to find information or he's got to find ways of, because obviously he's listened to the conversations and stuff that Roman and Olivia are having to use that information. But I don't think, like, if he wanted to get what he wanted because he's a favorite, he could do it. I think he's mastered manipulation very, very well.
Very much. And remember, in the beginning when Severin chose Roman as the one to, get to have Olivia. He gifted Olivia to Roman. So I think he respects Roman more. And I think Marsilius is just a little snake that he likes to frolic with, as Patrick put it.
He's just very great at pushing the correct buttons.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect allegory for corporate America. And I guess I'm using the word favoritism because I've seen it time and time again where your shitty ass where your colleague, your nicely esteemed colleague gets the promotions, or they are able to bend the ear of the COO or whatever, and you don't know why. And like,
because they stoke their egos. They stoke their egos.
I know it's manipulation, but like, it's still favoritism from a different perspective, I suppose. Even if they're just a snake in the
would you class it as forced favoritism then?
Oh, that sounds kinky.
You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to force yourself on that person to get what you want.
You're just always there. You're always there at the right time, the right place,
with the right
feeding
information,
them the right lines.
I mean, it's definitely manipulation, like you said, but it's just like workplace politics.
Oh,
I don't know if I would necessarily say it's forced favoritism or something, but like, if like, all right, your parents have a favorite kid, right? Sorry, Lisa, I know you said you don't, but like, we do.
You do.
Everybody does.
Well, I'm an only child. What do I know?
I don't have a favorite one, but I have one that I kind of gets me more than the other one does.
Yeah, exactly. And like on some level, how much of that is this is coming right after you said that, Lisa. So I'm not specifically talking to you. I'm not trying to throw a wrench in your family.
I know, but
one of my sisters is the clear favorite because she was the perfect child when we were all in school. But like, I knew that she was lying to my parents at the time and sneaking out and going to parties at night, but my parents don't know that. So is that manipulation? And does that then, go into favoritism? And is that just Marcellius and the Emperor all over again?
yeah, probably. No, I see my kids. I see my kids pretty clearly. The one that gets me is kind of like my mini me, and the other one is more like my husband. So when I
Is
say
that the problem? That's the problem. That's the problem, child.
when I say things to the one like my husband, I get my husband's kind of answers and points of view. And when I say the one that's like me, he's like, yeah, mom, I get it, this. And he'll be like, say something. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. Like he gets it. So I think it's just personalities. It's not a matter of favoritism. It's just, some people just get you better than other people.
We got anything else from this? I didn't pull a lot of Easter eggs from this chapter. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I just thought it was
we'll
quite
transition then.
a lot of emotion in it. That was all.
Fraternization. There we go. I've been trying to figure out that word.
Oh yeah, that's a good word for what they
Good
do.
word. Good word.
Another F word. Yes.
We have our like A2 Marcellius moment where he Olivia gets knocked out. And then in the beginning of chapter 33, she wakes up in a super strange place and doesn't know where the heck she is. And Patrick, you want to tell us what goes down there?
Yes, I can. So I kind of broke up this chapter into different scenes because it almost felt like that's the way it worked. So the first scene is obviously Olivia, where she wakes up in a damp stone, where her nose is assaulted by damp stone, burnt oil, something that's sickly sweet. Kind of reminds you of a dungeon, which we've heard all about before. So again, there's the imagery that Sara's so good at. So basically that goes into Olivia, like where's Roman? Roman, and basically Marcel's like, oh, he's about to die. He's getting ready to get eaten up by people. Oh, by the way, he's going to fight me. And then she's like, and then you're going to be mine. And then she's like, I will never be yours. And then it's a banter back and forth. I'm going to break you, which reminded me of Rocky.
That's not banter. Banter is sexy. That's just bleh.
Well,
banter is frolicking.
Well,
yeah.
One-sided.
The way he looks at it, that's exactly what you're going to be mine.
He sees it as banter. She's horrified.
So anyway, then it goes back, and then she starts to. One thing I've noticed, her ability to change from damsel to bitch was very quick and effortless.
No,
because it's like,
warrior.
I need to make sure that
warrior.
let me see if I can make something that work with me. Then you're never going to get this, So I thought that was pretty impressive on Olivia's part.
But she did that. She did that in the first bit when she first went to Rome as well. She went from like damsel in distress to just
well, that's what I'm saying. She's very good at it. So the Oscar for this book, 100% is there. And then
have
one
you
of the
guys
things
ever noticed that she only ever does that with Marcellius?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you need to. You start out nice, then he does his stuff, and you're like, you know what, you.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit. Anyway, Patrick.
So then we go into scene 2 where she starts to like try to get into who Marsilius is. Let's find out who he is. So she starts asking him questions, and then all of a sudden he gets Roman destroyed my life. He's upset at Roman because he saved his life because Roman showed up 10 years later, and all of a sudden, just like he's the best at everything, went right through everything, didn't seem to have that big of a problem, taking over everything that Marsilius had worked so hard for. And then you go into, she continues to look to try and get in to find out who he is. We get the first mention of the woman that he loved, which is where, it's like, wait a second. So he actually did have a heart, but it's gone now. It's over and done with. She was taken. She's gone, never coming back. And then Olivia says something that kind of struck me. She says, "No one was born evil, Marsilius. Life shapes us, but we can choose to fight it. You weren't given a choice. It's not your fault." Basically saying that, his woman was taken from him, and it's upsetting that he actually turned. And we'll find out, I think, a little bit later where there was definitely something there. Another loincloth mention and arousal, which she couldn't take her eyes off of, but she was doing that out of spite, I guess you could say, to kind of keep him tied in. She even asked about Lydia. Lydia, just wanting to know, well, what happened to her? Was she the woman that you're talking about? And he was like, nope, she was just a toy per se.
Nice.
But then she says, she finally starts to ask who this woman is. And this is where he gets upset. What are you trying to do to me? Why are you asking all these questions? He said he leaves and he comes back and shows her all the scars, tells her she's not supposed to understand what's going on, or why he's so different. Speaks with venom, tells her about all these lashes. And then the next scene, scene 3, I guess you could say, is where Olivia starts to put things together. Because in Marsilius's just complete unraveling, I guess you could say, she notices that he's holding on to a pendant that looks precisely like the one that Moon Lee wore. So at that point, she's like, oh, wait a second. Where did you get that? Get what? And then she's saying the necklace. And he says, well, I got it from Marcus. Trying to figure out why he said Marcus, but
I have some information on that.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask. But anyway, cool. So then Roman's says he can't stand, the relationship between him and Marcus. And then he completely loses it, starts humming and goes into this, some far off place, and starts chanting something that seems very familiar, haunting and familiar, stirring something deep within me. There's another piece that's now starting to fall in. Then he starts to chant, and he actually chants it where it's a sing-song chant, his words foreign and melodic. Yet there's another piece, because she's like, wait a second, I've heard that before. And she tries to shake her head, trying to dispel the fog of familiarity, trying to threaten to take over her. And so she says, well, where did you hear that song? Was it from your childhood? Which he admits, yes, it was. And they go back and forth a little bit. And then Moon Lee's voice shows up. Never give up, Olivia. You still have a chance, because she still needs to get to Roman. And then the final scene of this chapter is a wake-up call for Marsilius, because she said, let me go. If you don't, I'll find a way to escape. And Marsilius snapped out of his stupor. Apparently he woke up, his head jerking toward me. And then they just go into Marsilius turning back into the dark, evil Marsilius that he is. But yet Olivia's still trying to figure things out. She's like, things just aren't starting to make sense. I mean, they're just interesting. So I can't figure it out.
Puzzle
And that's
pieces.
Yep, the puzzle pieces are there. She's just trying to figure out how they fit together. And that's roughly the end of the scenes.
Nice, Patrick.
Hell yeah.
So one of the questions I did have, and I understand the book is written in English, I get it. But if Marcellus grew up with the Sioux tribe, and then went straight to Rome, his English is pretty good.
Moonlee probably taught him
or
English.
his Latin.
Or his Latin.
I'm assuming they're actually speaking Latin.
I want to ask a question about this because
yeah, I think they are.
The whole way through this book, from when she lands in ancient Rome, is it like Avatar, the second film, where the guy is talking and he says, you know, the Na'vi language has basically become like English to me, and then from that point onwards, everything's in English, but they're actually speaking Na'vi. I wonder if it's like that here. Like, is Olivia talking in Latin to Marcel?
But how does she know Latin?
Well, she said she was studying. But
she learned it with like the other
right. Yeah.
1,600 other languages she knows.
She remembered.
Right.
It's the whole time that they're having conversations throughout the book. Is it?
Yeah, I think you're right, Sam.
Is it in Latin and we're just hearing it in English, as if it was like?
Yes, that's my assumption.
You're right, Sam. I think so too. I agree, Matt.
But I think Patrick's question still stands. If he grew up with the Sioux, how in the world does Marcellus know Latin? At least Roman probably learned Latin as a part of a classical education in England, and obviously Olivia has this weird survival upbringing where like learning 3,500 world languages was a part of being able to survive because she was groomed by Moonlee.
Well, maybe Moonlee, because of time travel and everything, everybody who's under his tutelage or whatever, he teaches them different languages.
But that would explain if
I see that as possible. How likely do we think that is?
Well, it has to be likely. It's in the book. I mean, he knows it.
Well, here's my thing. I'm going to chalk it up to being a pilot because my neighbor's a pilot and every pilot knows English. So if you're a time traveler, you know English. That's
fact of the world.
It's like you don't have to learn how to time travel because you learn these words. So here's English. Study this. This is you have to.
But yeah. So my other big question to you, which obviously Brother Matt there has some insight on, why would he say that he stole the necklace from Marcus if it was given to him by Moonlee?
I want to say it from me reading this the first time and the second time and seeing how he unravels so quickly under the pressure that Olivia's putting on him for like, but why? Who's this? That he's starting to unravel. Like, I wondered whether it's because he's been found out or he thinks that, you know, oh my God, somebody's onto me, because I feel like from this point, from this book, he's already under little Bounty's not spell, but you know what I mean, like he's trying to already help him out. And so as soon as she's like, well, why this, why that, who's this, and he's like, he's massively unraveling. It's like he's been caught out and he's gone, oh shit.
And he doesn't know where she's from. He doesn't know. No. He can't trust her. He doesn't know a thing about her. She just appeared one day.
Yeah, and she's a woman.
And that horrible thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, horrible.
Deplorable.
Disgusting.
That's interesting headcanon, Sam. Lou, what do
I
you think?
agree, Sam.
I don't think I have anything to add. I just agree.
Lisa, do you have a different theory?
Well, it's what I said. Just that I think. You mean why he evaded the question of the?
Why? Well, he didn't evade it. I mean, he said that he stole the necklace from Marcus.
Well, why he lied about it. It's what I said. Like he doesn't know who the hell,
Okay.
who she is or what she represents or anything. And because she's a woman, like you said, and and he's Marcellus. So, if, the best way to go is always to lie.
I had personally never considered that Balthazar had already gotten to him.
Nice,
And I
Sam.
don't know. I want to say I remember reading in Darkness of Time that Balthazar finds Marcellus somewhere in that book and convinces him to switch sides. I don't know if I'm accurate with that statement, but that's what I remember. But it sure would be interesting if Balthazar went back to ancient Rome
Well, I just think
or
because
Scotland in order to convert Marcellus.
when is it the next book, or is it the third? Technically the fourth. When Marcellus gets taken by Balthazar, like there's no mention of him being manipulated at all. But then he gets taken when he's had his belly sliced open and Balthazar tries to like heal him and stuff. That he's already on his side.
Mm-hmm.
That he's already been manipulated. So reading it the first time I didn't get it, but the second time I was reading it, I was like, oh, I wonder if this unraveling, because it's like he spirals like massively out of nowhere. That it's like,
I think
shit,
that
I need to
that
think of something
spiraling,
like, oh, it's Marcus, it's not me, because you don't need to know that I'm Roman's brother.
She triggered him.
trigger warning, especially if Roman and his loincloth are around.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Trigger.
I think that spiraling is the crux of my headcanon. I think that we are dealing with an extremely complex psychological profile in Marcellus, and I think
yeah.
that Marcellus has completely and utterly divorced himself in his mind from his childhood, which I think is why he starts chanting, because it's almost like he's broken. My theory is that he couldn't deal with his childhood and he divorced himself from his childhood. And part of that was the necklace around his neck. And at some point in his early teens, when he was in Rome, he threw that necklace away. My guess is that Marcus found it, thought it was cool, because it had to have been cool. It's from a different time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That is not going to be something you can find anywhere. And then at some point, maybe when Marcus died or something like that, Marcellus stole the necklace back. But because Marcellus has completely compartmentalized his childhood, he doesn't remember any of that. So he's just here saying, I stole it from Marcus.
Right. In other words, we thought Salvatore was fucked up. Look who's here now.
No, I still think Salvatore's more fucked up.
Are you serious?
I genuinely do.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we need a whole episode on psychoanalyzing both these guys. Yeah.
I see your deranged men, and I raise you, Alina.
You just went all in, Matt.
She's the OG of insanity for sure. I wasn't even. I don't even put her in the same category as that. She is
Yeah, but
above.
I think
She's
Alina's
just
sort of matching Freya, though. I think Freya's batshit crazy too. Is it Freya?
Yeah.
No. What was Balthazar's wife? It's Freya. No?
Oh, Zara.
Zara.
Oh, yeah.
Zara.
Yeah, Zara.
The fact that
Freya was his daughter,
Freya was
Yeah.
the
right?
daughter. Yeah. The fact that
Yeah.
Zara's like playing her later on, I think they're all nuts.
Yeah, let me tell you, Sara can write crazy.
She says it.
I
She
wonder
can
what that
also
says.
write crazy, so it's like you can relate to it. It's very relatable.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know,
So you're
just
so you're
Sarah
saying we're all
girls
crazy.
talking.
What?
No, that was not
No.
the words I would have used. But
She
You
knows
guys might be
crazy.
crazy. I'm saying.
You don't have to be crazy to know crazy. She knows crazy.
Takes one to know one.
She worked in a gas station when she was younger, so she's encountered crazy.
Yeah.
As
Yes.
somebody who also spent time working at a gas station, you experience crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get those lotto tickets.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I hope in the final book we learn more about Marcellius's background, and
Same.
we know which one of our theories is accurate. Anyways,
I despise him, but he's so interesting.
but he's GQ hot. That is like the first
And that
description of
too.
this guy that we get.
Yeah, Olivia thought he was when she first got there and she first saw him. She was like, whoa. And then she went,
Yeah.
whoa. Forget about it.
Well, I mean, she was able to, check out both packages. So
There's loincloths.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Marcellius eventually leaves Olivia alone, chained to the bed in the dark. And that is where Lisa comes in.
Hello. Okay, chapter 34. The first line, I will quote the first line. After Marcellius's outburst, he never returned. Boom. So Olivia was left laying on his bed and chained to it. She couldn't sleep or stop worrying about Roman imprisoned in the Colosseum dungeon. Hours passed and she hadn't had water or food for days. Her wrists and ankles raw from the metal cuffs. She finally fell asleep. A rattling noise woke her, and she was worried that it was Marcellius. The room was pitch black, and she didn't know if it was day or night. The door creaked open, and a voice called, "Olivia, are you there?" She didn't recognize the voice, and she called, "Who's there? Who's asking?" Then she heard, "Olivia, it's me, Anthony, the kid you trained." She was both overjoyed and worried about her state. She was soiled and filthy, and told him so. He replied, I do a lot of quotes regarding Anthony in this chapter because I have a very soft spot for Anthony. So he replied, quote, "The scent of freedom is stronger than anything else. I'm going to set you free." So he began to work on the restraints, and Olivia was worried that Marcellius would return while they were trying to escape, and told Anthony that she was too weak to fight. Anthony replied, quote, "I know you, Olivia. The moment comes, you will fight. If the moment comes, you will fight. You're a warrior." I love that. She is a warrior. Olivia was full of gratitude, but Anthony reminded her that she was the one who taught him to fight and defend himself from Marcellius. He told her that Marcellius had moved up the fight with Roman to that night. Anthony had been watching since the night they dragged Olivia away and took Roman. He had been keeping an eye on them and waiting for a moment to help. He had been watching out for Olivia for days and finally had the opportunity at dawn that day, when most of the palace would be asleep and Marcellius would be with Severus, whoring it up. With the help of a female servant friend, Anthony finally got through to Olivia. Once he got all the metal cuffs off, he carefully helped Olivia up. Anthony scanned the hall, and they left silently down the halls. They passed the kitchen, and a young woman slicing vegetables smiled brightly and called to Anthony. He told her he had Olivia and introduced Olivia to Kara, her name. He asked Kara for something to clean for Olivia to wear. Kara gave Olivia a clean stola from the laundry clothesline. Olivia thanked Kara gratefully and worried that she would get in trouble. Kara told her that she had Anthony to protect her. I love that. Olivia quickly removed the soiled stola and realized she still had her knife and gun strapped to her thighs. Yeah! She washed herself from the cistern and put on the clean stola. Now she was determined. Anthony removed a set of keys from his loincloth. A set of keys was in there, so no wonder he was jingling as he walked. And he had stolen from a prison guard. And he told Olivia that they were to free Roman. Olivia asked how she could get into the prison, and Kara said she had an idea and left through the door. Olivia told Anthony that she liked Kara, and he said, quote, yes, she's wonderful. His face smiling and flushed. Olivia rested a hand on his forearm, saying, quote, and so are you. Anthony blushed and smiled again. Kara returned with a basket of herbs and told Olivia to take them and tell the guards that she was a healer. And she covered Olivia's hair with the stolen fabric at her neck. Cook called for Kara, who kissed Anthony's cheek before she left for the kitchen. Anthony told Olivia to go around back to the back gate of death, rather than the guarded front gate. On the other side of the Colosseum was the door they brought dead gladiators from after the battles. Olivia thanked Anthony, kissing his cheek and telling him she may never see him again because she and Roman needed to leave from there. She told him, quote, you're a good man, Anthony. Use everything I taught you to protect yourself and those you love. Promise me that. Anthony promised her he would and wished her luck. And I think that's my ending. But I love Anthony. Yay, Anthony! But bye, Anthony.
He's a good boy.
He is.
It's a little bit too, just we have so many bad guys. He was a good one.
It's nice to have somebody, yeah, and he has his little happily ever after with Kara. Hopefully.
No, Anthony.
I kept feeling like Anthony was some sort of version of Marcellus. I can't put a finger on why, but I kept feeling like it when I read it. I don't know if it's like this was a version Marcellus could have been if he was raised differently and had a more
a version
normal life.
of, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. You're right. Life fucks you up.
I was trying to work out how long she was actually in there for.
Well, she said she hadn't. Well, she was in pitch black, so she never knew when it was day or night. But she felt like it had been days since she had eaten or had a drink of water. There's only so many days you can survive without those two things, especially water. So I would say less than a week. I mean, a number of days, but less than a week because.
I think doesn't Anthony say he's been keeping watch for a few days or something like that?
Yeah. So yeah, a few days then.
Oh, my headcanon is like 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that being isolated and alone in the dark and like needing to go to the bathroom and being hungry and all that it just makes those minutes feel longer than they are.
For sure.
I was quite wondering how she could stand. I think I was just laying there. My legs would just buckle. I would just be a heap on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, she had to get her.
I think was Anthony dragging her a bit, maybe. I don't remember.
He was definitely, helping her, and she was adjusting to it, and they didn't like run out right away. They were there waiting, for there to be a good time to leave in the hallway. So she had time to kind of get her legs.
Yeah. Get back on her feet.
Yeah, back on her feet.
The only reason I was asking was because I wondered if the reason why Marcellus didn't go back to see her was because he was trying to demoralize her. Because,
well,
imagine being a person who's got that much strength, because she has, that the only way he could demoralize her really would be like, sit in your own filth, pee yourself,
Yeah. I think that's part of it. The other part is he spent his nights in the palace, and he also was in a state of, he and she had just had a very stressful to him conversation, and he was kind of spinning out of control, like you all were saying, and he probably wanted to spend a few nights at the palace to escape.
Yeah.
And
Also PG.
To frolic.
Yep.
Pressing the right buttons.
Pretty sure he was getting blackout drunk and
totally
paying a lot of women.
Exactly.
Or maybe saying he would pay them, probably not. You know what I mean? That seems more
stiffing a lot of women.
Hey, digital high five, Lisa. Digital high five. Yes. All right.
I mean that both ways. I mean that both ways.
Yep. I don't know. I think
showing off his loincloths.
on some level, I just feel like Marcellus is so. I cannot in any way think that Marcellus has this plan to break Olivia. I don't think he has a plan. I think he's so mentally broken. Yeah, no plan.
No,
I think he forgot about her. I think that's what happened. I think he got so wasted, he just forgot about her for like 24 hours.
I know.
He's just too impulsive. He's just, oh, now I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I mean, she was there for days, but like Marcellus coming back versus soiling myself, I think I would soil myself before I would want that guy anywhere near me.
Yeah, Marcellus is definitely a fly by the loincloth kind of guy.
Yeah, by the seat of his loincloth.
The seat of his loincloth.
Fly by the seat of your loincloth, Marcellus.
There was one set of imagery that I highlighted that I thought was a wonderful, I guess, allusion for the rest of Olivia's story, the entirety of the series. And it's here. It says, the shadows closed around me, but I only cared about reaching him. And I feel like that is just the Blade of Shadows story in a nutshell.
Was that in my part?
Yes.
No, I would have remembered a shadow. Where were you, Sam? Where were you with that shadow watch?
I'm pretty sure I had it highlighted.
Was it in that part? Because I can't believe I didn't even... I read that pretty carefully, but maybe I missed it.
Nope, that's in the next part. Shit. Good job.
Okay, good, because I think I would have remembered that, and you were absolutely right. That's a good segue to the next part, because
it's like a page and a half.
Absolutely right. You were absolutely right. That is really tying the whole series together, for sure.
Olivia says goodbye to Anthony and begins to make her way to the Colosseum and Roman. And so the second half of chapter 34 is supposed to go to our beloved Tam, but Tam is apparently the only one that has a job when we meet.
I miss you, Tam.
So she sent me her notes, and I have decided this is going to be a millennial dude reading Gen Z.
Yay!
Oh my God, I love it.
So
yes.
Here we go.
If
Try
we can
to
get
sound like Tam.
if we can give like 3 sentences of summation before I go into it, it's that Olivia gets past the guard and into the Hypogeum, which is the space underneath the Colosseum. She finds Roman, and before they can do anything serious, they have to frolic in the depths.
There you go.
And then they discuss who Roman's twin brother might be. That's the second half of this chapter. And now we're going to get a Gen Z version of it. And so my eyes are going to go over yonder.
Okay.
All right. So this is, y'all are going to get a millennial dude reading the verbatim notes of a Gen Z lady. So buckle up.
Yeah.
And pretend I have an Australian accent, if you will. I actually tried to do that in the mirror, and I can't. So.
You would. That sounds like you. You are so cute.
I actually love this chapter so much with the little Anthony Cara moments. Cutesy little Anthony crush with too many S's. Anyway, Anthony is telling her to go to the gates of death as if that's not the most concerning name for anything ever. It's where they carry out the dead gladiators, but Anthony gives her a little, you can do this. And it's such a cutie moment. It feels like the corridors are alive. Quote, the sounds of the beasts guiding me toward their source. It makes the gladiators feel more animalistic than human, which is actually quite sad. Tear emoji. But she had her mission, which helped her push past everything. A guard spots her, so Olivia makes an excuse of like, oh, I need to suspiciously heal that Roman guy, But the guard low-key trying to riz, and it's not working with, hey, can we have sex, princess? And Olivia like, nah, I only have herbs. And then the guard is low-key just a dick.
Oh
my God.
She throws the herbs at him and literally knocks him flat. Then we hear a little, Olivia, like bro heard some bitch getting beaten up and immediately knew that's my girl.
Jeffrey.
All right, so Matt moment, right? Because Tam's part. So then Olivia finds Roman's cell in the 2 smash. I try to make it a little easy. Back to Tam. God, why are they so horny in this situation? I low-key felt more ick in this scene than the maggots. Like, why is this the first thing you do sexy time? I'll never let you go is more like you'll never get off of this dick. And I need you, Olivia, right here, right now. But like, do you though, bro? Anyway, so they just have sex.
Thank God for the cistern.
She says she loves him and he gets primal. Oh my gosh, this is so unsanitary. Actually, I'm sorry. She said OMG. I said, oh my gosh. OMG, This is so unsanitary. Quote, that was dangerously close. But like to what? Getting caught or getting an STD? I can't even tell what would be. Anyway, Roman's now been told the realization that he may have killed his brother, and Olivia's all like, but what if Marcellius is your brother? And Roman's like, bitch, please. So Roman then pretty much tells her to skip town, or should I say skip time, and we can all just like think of Tam. Ha ha ha! I'm so funny.
And very clever, Tam.
And promises to find her, and she's all like, no, with loads of O's. And the scene ends with Roman saying Marcellius has got to die.
Oh yeah, I agree.
End of the notes.
You go, Tam.
Tam, we miss you, girl.
Very good, Matt.
Okay.
Very good.
So out of those notes, I personally pulled one question based upon Tam's notes that I want a round robin of. Is this sexy scene more or less of an ick factor than the maggot scene? And we will start with Lou.
I've already forgotten it, so it's not Moik.
Yeah. If you can forget it, it's not more ick. I love it.
Well, I haven't forgotten it completely, but I don't remember it in detail. So, Magazine wins this one.
All right, Sam.
I still think the maggot scene, but if I had just sat in my own filth for days, just about had a wash, the last thing I'd want to do is sit on some guy and be like, let's do this. Like she said, I don't know whether I'd have gotten an STD or something else.
The maggot scene is still the OG of disgusting scenes, but she did use the cysteine to freshen up a bit. And he, on the other hand, is pretty gross, but you don't get an STD by being dirty. It's by having an STD, and he doesn't have one that we know of. And I definitely, it's Roman, okay? I don't care how dirty he is. If
You're
I
gonna
had
get used to
been,
cribble
if
ads.
I,
Still
if
like
I,
a bug.
if I had thought I was never going to see the love of my life again, and here we are, then yeah, we're smashing.
Smashing, yeah.
Least primal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to 100% stay with the maggot scene, only
Okay.
because I was in the Marine Corps and I deployed quite a bit. You could say there were some deployments that were very similar to a prison area, and you just like, is that seriously going on? No, whatever. So I can see it happening.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
When there's a will, there's a way. That's right. Well, Tam, her notes obviously say that this particular scene is more ick than, and I think it's the unsanitariness of it. And
Yeah.
to that, I would like to raise everybody a non-related scene that on reread has gotten my biggest ick of the entire series.
Oh my God,
And it's
what?
actually back in
Yes.
chapter 33.
What? What was it?
Then with disgusting slowness, he slid his filthy finger into my mouth. That is my big, huge ick right now. Oh,
Who did
I
that
do
to
remember
what?
that
Who
one.
did that to
Marcellus did that to
Marcellus,
Olivia
yes. Yeah.
While she's chained to the bed.
while she's chained to the bed
God.
before she bites his finger.
And
Yeah.
God only knows where those fingers, all the nooks and crannies,
Hey,
those
there was no
fingers
toilet
have
paper back then.
been. I mean, nooks and
That's what you
crannies.
say.
I agree with Matt.
Ick, man.
Oh, give me the maggots.
I don't know. I still feel like sitting in your own filth's a bit like it's different not washing. Like I've done an Arctic thing where we were sleeping outside in like -20, -30 degrees, and like we couldn't shower, we couldn't. You could have like a horse bath or a pits and bits wash where you like funneling yourself with some wet wipes or whatever. But but I wouldn't sit there on my own piss and be like, yeah.
Well, I don't think Roman was. I think Roman probably went to a corner of his cell and did his business. So,
I mean, he was chained. How far was he going to be able to crawl?
well, as far from the chain, as far as the chain reached, but
All 6 inches?
yeah.
Because that would be pretty much where Olivia would then be,
True.
My other thing is how big are
Yeah,
these
I don't
loincloths?
know.
I think we said this before, but like Roman had a gun in his, Anthony's got a set of keys in his, like
Can I share my screen for a second? Because this is what I've been looking at as we've been talking about loincloths. Okay. All right. So all I did was look up loincloth in ancient Rome. And I'm getting lots of different pictures. And I don't know how much I like any of them.
Where's the ball?
I mean, I don't see pockets, so
Nope.
could only.
And I'm trying to understand the
Why is there a
difference
bikini?
between a toga and a loincloth, you know?
Isn't a
I guess
toga
you-
off the shoulder?
And bikinis?
I guess you just put it amongst your junk.
Like this one over here is what I can think of as everyday wear. But like where are you putting an 18th century pistol? Like those are not small. We're not talking about the little snub-nosed
Neither
guns
is Roman.
days. Those 18th century guns were like,
I'm telling you,
He
it's
just-
pressed the bum cheeks. It's got to be in the bum cheeks.
Oh
bum
no!
Otherwise, he just took a needle and just made a pocket.
I don't know, Sam. I think you're tucking like a drag queen comment from a couple episodes ago. It might be what's going on.
I don't understand it. Like you said, it's got the guns are going to be like that.
So's Roman.
So
Maybe
I mean,
he's-
okay, if we discount all of the romantic reunion, the chapter is really about the mystery of who is Roman's twin brother.
Right.
And because we've all read the series, we know it's Marcellius.
Mhm.
So I want to ask, how well was Marcus sold to you the first time you read this story? Was Marcus the red herring, or was Marcus the red herring, or was Marcellius the red herring the first time you read it? Do you remember?
I can't remember that long ago. I really can't. It was so long ago.
I want to say, like, I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing, but like I pick up on things quite quick. So like when I watch TV shows, within the first 10 minutes, I'll go, that dude's a killer, or like
Yeah.
that dude's gonna be the one that's kidnapping somebody. And so I never thought. I thought the whole reason that Marcus was put into the book was because of Anthony, because Marcus was Anthony's dad. Or that's how I read it, that Marcus was Anthony's dad, and the woman who Marcellius is sleeping with is Anthony's mum. So that was, I don't know if that's right. I might be completely wrong, but I always thought that Marcellius was the one that they were trying to ploy, that it wasn't going to be that it was going to be the brother.
I actually thought the same, because otherwise, why give him such a big role if there was not something else with him?
I remember thinking, what if Marcellius is his long lost twin brother? But I didn't think there were hints about it. And as far as Marcus being Anthony's father, I don't know if I read anything about that. And I'm also wondering, if he really was, why wouldn't he have been the one to protect Anthony from Marcellius? Don't you think? I don't know.
Who, Marcus? Because he died pretty quick. I thought the whole reason I thought that Marcus was Anthony's dad was because Marcus
I see.
look after my family.
Oh, I see. Right.
And so I thought that Marcus was Anthony's dad, and the reason that that Marcellius moved in with the mum, or not moved in, but like moved on with the mum, was because it was easy access now, because Marcus wasn't there and out of the picture.
Marcus was gone. Marcus was gone, right.
And then that's why Anthony's story became such a poignant part, because I feel like if that's not the point, that Marcus was Anthony's dad, then Anthony's storyline is sort of a bit not necessary.
Well, he had to
Maybe.
help Olivia get escape.
But
And I don't-
anybody could.
But he was
Yeah,
If
but
there's
I,
not,
he was connected.
I don't think, because he was watching them. I don't think anyone would have just been like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch these guys. They're dragging a woman off." Because at this point, they're just like, "Okay, that's his woman."
Well, she had helped him in the past.
Yeah.
And he felt and helped train him. So he felt very devoted to her. And then Roman, but it would stand to reason that he would feel close to Roman because of Marcus, being. Do you remember, Matt? You know all about this shit.
Do I remember what?
I mean, like,
We've talked about what?
Was Marcus Anthony's father?
Based upon the text inside of Timeborne, we are led to believe that Marcus and Lydia are both of Anthony's parents.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that is definitively stated anywhere, but I know it's definitely what we're led to believe.
Yeah.
All right.
as it's pointed in that direction. It's never actually confirmed.
No.
But
Yeah.
It's just a feeling you get while reading.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, so perhaps.
Yeah, I remember reading this and just being like, why are we even spending time on Marcus? Because clearly the enemies to best friends type trope is something that's going to happen in later books. Clearly. So Marcus was the red herring for me, and I just knew it was Marcellius the entire time. And so I think my big question was, why is Marcus being made into such a big deal in this book? And especially because throughout the rest of the series, we never hear from him or about him ever again. And it's just, why is Marcus such a big deal in this book? Is it literally just a red herring, or is there some bigger thing going on that we know Sarah Samuels likes to do?
Well, let's look at the facts about what part he played. I mean, he was Roman's best friend, right? They were close, and it gave that a chance for Marcellius to be jealous of their relationship and everything. Also Anthony's father, that's another connection. Also to throw us off. 3 reasons. Boom, boom, boom.
Does Marcellius know that he's a twin? Or has a brother?
I mean,
is it ever mentioned before?
Yes. He knows. Well,
he knows.
So when you say, does he know, this my brain goes to, was he told as a child? Yes. Does he consciously know it at this moment in the book, or is he so psychologically broken that he doesn't remember or have any idea?
I think if he was told as a child that he had a brother or was a twin or whatever, I think that having Marcus and Roman having that brother relationship would have affected Marcellius on some level.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, if these two guys are like brothers, they've got each other's back, I've got nobody, whether that's where the jealousy and stuff comes from, and the wanting to sort of go, well, no, now you've got to kill him, or fight each other or whatever. And then for Marcellius to then take over Marcus's life is sort of almost trying to insert himself in that storyline.
Okay,
that's
interesting.
a good point. Yeah.
I
You know,
actually thought. Oh no, you go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just gonna say if you're jealous of somebody, sometimes the thing you do is to try and, you know, take over their life and do that and become that person, sort of, but not, you know what I mean?
Subconsciously, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
That's all
No.
kinds of psychologically fucked up. Yeah.
No, I kind of read it all like we were supposed to get to know Roman so much better through what he went through and the bad is not bad, but hard decision he had to make, how much he had to go through to survive and what he had to do. Because I think we can all relate to what would we do if we had to fight to the death with our best friend.
Yeah, that's another reason why he was important to the storyline. Because he had to, how cruel, but Marcellius was the one who planted that idea in Severin's head, like, have those two fight each other to the death. So, like, he set it all up. So it still was kind of Marcellius being the one to, you know, put him in that situation of.
It's like a jealousy thing, you know. If you're jealous of somebody, you're gonna
Totally. Yeah.
you're gonna try and do everything to be better than them, or like to stand out a bit more than them. Which is why I'm saying before about the whole favoritism thing. You know, if you're jealous of Marcus because him and Roman have got a relationship, and then you kill Marcus, and then you take over that role to try and be that person, whether he's trying to then form like the brotherly bond, maybe that he's thinking
And
of with Roman.
who does that remind us of? Lou's guy. Yeah.
That's why she's grinning.
I also thought that it was quite the contrast because, you know, Marcellius, he can't fight his best friend because does he have any friends? Actually, I don't think he has. So we have this contrast between Roman and Marcellius once again.
As I was trying to make my breakout of all the characters and how they're connected and stuff like that, I just got hung up on Marcus and Lydia. And I think I questioned Sara multiple times, just coming at different angles, because I thought, well, everybody's a time traveler. So who is Marcus? Could Marcus be Malik? I started talking to Sara specifically about Marcus and Lydia because I just couldn't quite grasp that they would not be mentioned anywhere else in the book. And she finally, because I thought, is he another time traveler that was sent back to protect Roman or to be Roman's friend? And finally, she, after many theories, she basically said, okay, Marcus and Lydia are basically NPCs. They're not part of the book. They were just character placements just to hold a portion of the story, and that's it. And that's why they're never mentioned again.
Matt said. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good to know. So
because
he just had the role of, you know, all those different roles of.
Yeah, I think I asked her probably 7-8 times specifically about Marcus and Lydia, and finally she was like, "Stop, don't worry about them." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, leave me alone.
Never mind them.
That's basically what it was.
It's just
Stop
a little
asking
thing
stupid
to fill
questions.
some pages.
Although she could have said that just to throw you off the scent, and they'll come up in.
I had word count.
Yeah, word count. That's it.
Having found Roman, Olivia leaves him to his fate and exits the Hypogeum and the Colosseum in search of other answers. And I think Lou is going to tell us what she finds.
Yes.
Yeah,
Lou. Yeah. So now she's leaving, and of course she doesn't want to be discovered. So she's trying to be a little quiet. And then there's this prisoner, and he's just making noise, and she's like, "Oh, shut up, dude." So she, of course, as one does, she just ends up banging his head against the iron bars. So, and then he keeps quiet. She can move on, and she comes to the market. She tries to find someone to help her. She has to know, when is this big fight gonna be between Marcellus and Roman. And she asks this woman, "When do you know when it is?" And she said, "Oh my God, another whore who wants to sleep with the Victor." And well, yes, nice talk, nice talking to you. She, she moves on, and then this time she asks a guy, and she's like, "Okay, when is the fight?" And he's like excited because he's like, "Whoa, I'm ready! I have my ticket." Well, I think is it to Sara it's called or whatever, but it's kind of a ticket. And well, she figures it out. So yeah, and then there's a pre-fight, and it's gonna be at dawn, and then the real fight is at moonrise. Then she decides, okay, I'm gonna go to Roman's house now. And of course, as soon as she gets there, she's just overflown by memories and grief for Amara. And yeah, I felt her. I felt her so much. I had a tear rolling down my cheek while reading this every time. Yeah. Yeah, but it was also so sweet. She let everything go. She fell to the floor. She just wept, and she got it all out, which I thought this is quite healthy, not bottling everything up. But of course, well, what else was she gonna do? It's not like there was very much to do. She couldn't just watch TV or something to distract herself. There was no one to talk to, and yeah. So yeah, she gets to the end of her crying. She picks herself up, and well, Olivia being strong as always. Then she just, she decides, okay, this is not gonna help me. I need to figure this out. I need to find those sacred words. And then she's like, okay, maybe Marcellus is actually a time traveler as well. And maybe those words, that's the sacred words. And then she's like mimicking his actions because, well, she has a good memory. And then it's like the word just come out of her mouth all of a sudden. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're gonna have to write this down. And she also discovers the dagger. Well, she actually has two. So they are glowing. And yeah. And she writes down the words. Well, I think it would have been very difficult for me to spell these words, and I'm not going to pronounce any of them. So we'll just leave that to our dear listeners to read it themselves. I'm not very
Probably.
fluent in. Yeah, no, yeah, my Aramaic is not very good, and Arabic either. So I don't think I have any language that remind me of this. I know Korean, but that doesn't help me. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so she writes it down, and yeah, it's actually Olivia who decides, I think this is Aramaic. And then, of course, she knows this language, as one knows
Exactly.
if you're not
Yeah.
me. So she translated. She translates it, and I thought it was pretty beautiful. I'm not going to read the translation because it just my reading's not very great, but it had to do with moon and to be guided through the dark and the sun and love and passion, and for the shadow watchers, shadows of the night.
Yeah.
I really like it. I actually read it a couple of times because I thought it was beautiful. And then she realized, okay, I'm just gonna check this dagger again. And then she's not really sure if it actually says M and T or if it's M and L. And so, of course, still no answer whether this one belongs to Marcellus or Marcus. And there we have the T for Theodora. So another one. Oh, that one. Yeah. And then the thought of Marcellus being Roman son just won't leave her. She keeps wondering, okay, what if he actually is the twin? But no, of course not, because Marcellus is just downright insane and out of his mind. So yeah. And then she decides, now time, I'm gonna go save my man because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So
Nice
that's where we
one.
are. Thank you.
Yeah, about that Aramaic section.
Yeah.
I think that might be the thing I am most interested to hear in the new audiobooks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's necessarily
Definitely.
the best scene or whatever, but like just to hear them say that. And like, is it gonna be Olivia? Like, because this is Olivia chapter, it's her point of view. So is it gonna be Olivia, or are they gonna get some other
Yeah.
narrator specifically to say those words? Like, I'm just really interested to see how that goes. That's gonna be really
Yeah,
cool to
for
hear.
sure.
You know, I actually I got the assistive reader to read it for me, but of course they don't speak very well. So, but
Yeah.
just to hear it, because in my mind it was just gibberish. You know, I was like, yeah, yes, if you say so. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but it was
Mhm.
Even
quite fun.
even in the first audiobook, the narrators, it's read very blocky, like
I'm sure.
very good
Yeah,
word for word. Um, I kind of hope that it is very fluid in the new one,
I
because
think,
like you said, the
yeah.
translation is beautiful, and I think if it's read in like Aramaic, then it would sound really, really lovely.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm. Definitely good point, Matt. Yeah. Sam and Lou.
yeah. You know, the only thing I actually had was I had two things for the Shadow Watch. The one I already said, and then there was the it says shadows of memory. It's when she's it's the lingering memory of Amara in the house. I thought it was also quite beautiful. I like how
Oh,
these shadows are not always used as something dark and sinister or something bad. They're also used like something with a bit of sweetness or fondness, and I like
true.
this.
And so in
True.
this book they use more of like a memory or uh
Yeah,
like
Which I think is the point.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like all of the people from Solaris have all of these memories that they can't reach. And so the
Exactly.
fact that these shadows are just a hint at the past, a hint at remembrance, a hint at something that should be, I think is very lovely and elegant.
I
But
agree.
also
Yeah.
it, it's very good in the whole imagery side of things, that I think that all the people that are using the terms for shadows, like, you know, that they do have the past lives, and so it's almost like it's a shadow of themselves, you know,
Yeah,
like it's them
yeah.
but it's not them, it's their memories but they don't have them, whereas like obviously in Rise of the Shadow Lords it was a
Literally.
separate entity, like quite literally the
Yeah.
shadows, because this is more of like
Yeah.
a, well, we said before about the fact that the shadows could be the souls, like it's their souls from their past lives
Mhm.
that are,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, like maybe Amara's still looking out for Olivia or something. You could be
If
nice.
not Amara, maybe Lazarus is there with his shadows keeping tabs.
yeah.
Yeah. Very
You
good.
know, this book has I think 78 mentions of shadow.
Well, look at you counting shadows.
I didn't count. I asked the computer to count, and then I just deducted all the mentions in the what wasn't the chapters, but
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
more than
pretty
Sam
cool.
did.
and it says loincloth 20 times.
Oh my
Just just to
Wow.
Only
compare.
20?
Yes,
We've
just
said
to
loincloth
compare.
more than that.
I think I've
Yes,
said loincloth more than that.
just in this episode.
It
We're
wasn't
we're
the number of
unfortunately
times.
obsessed with genitals and genital coverings.
It wasn't the number of times loincloth is said. It's the, the weight of it.
The way it's
Literally,
said. Yes.
literally
The
Wait,
the weight of
weight.
it. Yeah. It has all the hidden things.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I actually had one question.
Okay.
I just wanted to know how you guys were feeling when you were reading about Amara and Olivia being sad, and
Oh, I mean, gosh, yeah, that was a really good homage to her, you know?
I wanted Tam's input on this.
mhm.
Oh, I know, I
She's such a
know.
working lady.
Maybe when we meet the next time, she can give her little 2 cents about it
Yeah.
and have an Amara moment.
I think sometimes in Timeborne, like this first book specifically, it must be such a difficult balance as an author to balance the relationship building, but also you need that action. And whether
Mhm.
that action is sexy or battle or whatever, you gotta balance that, right? So there are times in this book where I feel like, man, the relationships are really falling behind because like I felt like Scotland would have been the perfect time to really make the Amara Olivia relationship blow up. And I feel like that was really put to the side to make the Roman and Olivia relationship blow up. Um, but then Sara really makes the depth of the Amara Olivia relationship in these kinds of moments. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
very touching, even though we don't get it, between the two of them on page.
You're right, Matt, but her shadow was there.
But also, like, if Amara is literally only, well, when this book first came out, was only in this book, and then obviously she crops up every now and again. But like, I feel like she did I feel like she did the relationship justice. Like, even though it
Yeah.
was short and sweet, that there was still the depth, when she's saying that she felt like Amara was family, felt like she was quite motherly, felt that, she'd sort of didn't put up with her shit because, she called her
Yeah.
out on it being like, stop causing problems and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, I agree, Sam.
What do we think about Olivia? What do we think about Olivia's powers of deduction and her Sherlock Holmes cameo?
I think it's on par with what an intelligent, insightful woman she
Mhm.
is.
It's almost like when she was actually given puzzle pieces, she actually started to put them together. But until she
Yeah.
got them, she just kind of went on with, you know, her daily life. But once the puzzle pieces started to show up, oh, wait a second, hold on. So I think
Mhm.
I think she did really well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think actually also I think maybe Moon Lee did something that maybe she didn't discover it while he was doing it, but I think he also trained her somehow. Learning her, teaching her how
Mhm.
to note the little things, and she's just been learning this without realizing it.
Good point, Oil, yeah.
Like, almost hidden in plain sight. That once
Mhm.
Yeah.
they all sort of like crop up, you know.
Mhm.
But also, she's spent like, what's the time frame from when she arrives to like now? It's like nearly 2.5 years or something, or longer than that, because
Year and a
they
half
spent
ish.
they s- well they spent a year in
Mm-hmm.
Scotland, and then there was 6 months prior. So I wonder if it's like closer to two.
She showed up in Rome and then she was given to Roman, and it's almost like she was there with Roman for what? A
A
couple of
couple of
weeks
weeks.
before then they have the 6 months later
Yeah, and then they're on
thing.
the boat for a
And then
couple of
what? It's
weeks. Yeah,
another 2 weeks when then Roman's like, we're going to Scotland. And it's only a couple week journey to Scotland. They're in Scotland for a year. They come back, and we're inside of like a 72-hour window right now.
Exactly. It all happens like
What
that.
is that? A year and 8 months tops
Yeah.
ish. It's a long time, man.
A lot
I can
happens.
I can barely go an hour and a half without looking at my phone. I can't imagine a year or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy.
To think about coming back to the 21st century or the 20, and having been in like ancient Rome for like best part of 18 months, and then you've got to like use a flushable toilet and have like running hot water.
I would
Yeah.
bow down to that
It kind of
toilet.
reminds me of reading accounts of soldiers from the 1800s that would come home from war, and like they could not sleep in a bed. They had to sleep on the ground afterwards, and food made them sick. They literally had to like not eat in order to survive, and just I'd have to
Exactly.
imagine something similar to that.
Yeah.
Crazy feat. Shock.
For sure. For sure. That's a good point.
Well, I suppose it's like conditioning, if you're conditioned to do something. I know Patrick would probably know more about it, like been in the forces and stuff. Like if you're conditioned to do something for so long, anything else outside of that's hard to.
Feels wrong.
Yeah.
To this day, it still feels wrong to put my hands in my pockets while I'm walking.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I just can't. Or even not walking on a sidewalk. Like if somebody cuts across the grass or something like that, I could start and I take 2 steps in. I was like, nope, can't do that. And I get back on the sidewalk.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
definitely some things when they are just completely ingrained that it's just weird. It's just really different when you like, yeah.
Having discovered the ancient words for time travel, Olivia gathers supplies, including her time travel dagger and the mystery one, before she decides to spring into actions in order to save the day. So what she does is she talks her way back into the Hypogeum under the Colosseum and heads directly to Roman's cell, which is empty, of course.
Of
But
course.
pretty quickly, though, a guard comes running to investigate the commotion, and she sweet talks him into answering a whole bunch of questions for her, because, of course. And the guard tells her that the cell wasn't always Roman Alexander's. In fact, before Roman was housed there, it was Marcellius's cell. And we also learned that Marcus never stayed there. Olivia asks if Marcellius had any friends, and the guard was like, friends? That's hilarious, but there are a few.
Yeah.
Gaius and Amara, because he was particularly close to Amara, who treated him like a mother. Oh, and some pretty girl whose name we can't remember. She died.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The guard leaves, and Olivia decides to depart the Hypogeum, and but only does so after she recovers Roman's dagger, which he stashed in his cell. So she leaves and joins the crowd. And as she does that, she makes the just internal decision that Marcellius is Roman's twin brother, not Marcus, and therefore the only way out of this mess is for all three of them to time travel. So she goes, decides to. Oh wait, no, this is when she goes back under and finds his dagger. Does some other adventures that we can skip over for sake of time, and then she goes back topside and essentially picks a dude's pocket to steal his ticket to the gladiatorial event. And gets super lucky that they're like really nice seats, and that a rich dude decides to vouch for her and escorts her to the super nice deluxe box seats where her tickets happen to be. The opening ceremonies begin, and then a series of like intro gladiator events happen where it's just like man versus beast, and beast wins every time. before
like
darkness falls and the moon rises, which is like the signal for the Marcellus v. Roman main event.
Mhm.
And that's Olivia's cue to leave the stands and enact her like half-baked grand plan.
Right.
So she hops down into the arena, which, if you can imagine jumping out of the stands in the Yankee Stadium, that's pretty much what I'm getting happen.
Nice.
And begins chanting the ancient scripture as she darts into the arena. The guards try to come out and stop her, but of course, what else do you do in ancient Rome? You pull a gun out of your dress and you shoot people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's stop there and discuss a little bit. And here is my main question for everyone. So Roman and Olivia are fated lovers. We all know this, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what they look like. Their souls are just gonna soul smash, right? But how do you think the rest of this story would have gone if Olivia was not hot?
Oh, I am sure she gets away with things. The sweet talking, the manipulating the men, and she can act demure, but she is a badass, and as Patrick always says. And so yeah, her hotness helps her.
Otherwise, she would have just used her force. She would just have forced her way into everything.
Exactly.
She
She
was
would have used
trained.
that gun a lot sooner.
I think she was trained to use whatever you have. If it's not your looks, then you have something else.
Okay, I like that answer.
I mean, that's why
Yeah,
she's
really.
pretty much trained in everything, though. That's why she's got the smarts. That's why she's got the physique, like physical ability. You know,
She's like a female James Bond.
she's like a female Swiss
Sure
Army
enough,
knife. She's got adaptations for every
I like that.
eventuality. You know what I mean? Like you said before, she's very demure, but then she can kill a bitch. You know, she
as Tam would say.
Poor
Yeah.
bastard.
you know, like she can translate multiple different languages. She can do the sleuthing and the detecting and all of that sort of stuff. Like, I she's very clever. Even if she didn't have her looks, I still reckon she'd find a way of
For
getting.
sure, but in this
But
day
like
and
you said,
age,
it
with
does make it easier because
yeah,
she can do the whole, oh, I'm so pretty and I can come and sit in this box without a man, and oh, I can just sit here and do whatever I want and not.
oh yeah,
If she
because
was ugly, they'd be like, nah, turn around, mate. Turn around,
yeah,
go home. How the
she's
fuck do you
dealing
get
with
here?
cavemen.
I guess I was coming at this as like I really like your answer, Lou and Sam. Because I was coming at this from the point of view that men are stupid and men just do things for hot girls. Like
Yeah.
that is society, and I think it's always been society. But to y'all's point, are they doing everything for Olivia because she's pretty, or is she just charming them? And therefore, if
Oh,
she wasn't pretty, she would find a way to play the sage, wise, young healing apprentice or something and still charm everybody.
Well, I
I
mean,
think she could do
did that.
both.
She
Yeah.
did that in
I
this
like that. I
episode
hadn't even
anyway.
considered that. And I guess
You know,
that's my own. I guess that says so much about me. Great. It's commentary on Matt here.
Let's delve into that. Nope.
but like, she did. She obviously, like, they were like, oh yeah, you want to smash or whatever, and she's like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna go and heal these people, and it's like,
Yeah. as one does.
I'm sorry, just remembering that line where she's like, "Nope, I've only got herb." It's like, yeah, we're not going to snack, but we can go get high together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You might need to get high
I'm
because you
gonna
might.
be burning. I'm gonna be burning some sage, you know.
Yeah, I got this. I
Yeah.
got this juicy bud.
Gonna smoke some olive leaves.
Our story comes to a pause as Olivia throws the daggers at Roman and Marcellius, who, of course, catch them blade first.
Oh yeah.
Olivia cuts her own hand, and then the darkness of shadows engulf the arena before all three are sucked into the nothingness of time travel.
That's what I'm talking about.
And on that, I did send Sarah Samuels a voice note because time travel is literally never described this way ever again, as the shadows like taking over.
You're right.
And Sarah told me that that is how time travel happens every time.
Oh, we're just supposed to, from here on in, just imagine it that way because that's the way it is, right? She doesn't even have to say it.
It is very much like how sometimes you read that the characters chant the words, and some other times the characters don't chant the words. It is, I believe that the author was discouraged by an OG editor from including these details every time because I guess it's unnecessary and superfluous, but like I would 100% love every single time anybody time travels. I would love for the shadows to come in and to read that sensation of being sucked into nothingness.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have
Me
loved that.
Me too.
But yeah.
Word count.
So I guess that is how Timeborne comes to a conclusion on the cliffhanger of where the F are they going?
I know. That was the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers, man. That was
Yep.
always, that really, man, that hooked me. I was like, where's book 2? Let me have it.
Oh yeah. Every one of
that
her
was
cliffhangers.
100% my hook. Like even when I read the OG version of Timeborne before all of the Roman POVs and stuff, and I rated it really badly, the ending of "No, where the F did they go?" was my hook that I need to read the next book.
Yeah, she did a good job with that. For sure.
And with that, the archives are officially closed. Thank you all for listening. We will see you next week when we get back together to discuss why we are still obsessed with this series. And then we will be getting into Darkness of Time Book 2 the week after that. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.